So the whole trip of Zen is simply being awake in the real world, being aware of reality. And that sounds kind of strange because you might say, well, I'm awake right now. But what I'm getting at is our tendency to mind wander, our tendency to form thoughts and abstractions about reality rather than actually being here in the here and now. And our species has progressively become more and more asleep in these abstract worlds and less awake to reality. And that's why we need classes on meditation and mindfulness. And these practices help wake us up. But that's the same reason your dog doesn't need to take a mindfulness class, because other animals on the planet haven't fallen asleep into these abstract worlds. And one of the best examples of getting lost in abstractions is money. And if we go back, we traded things as human beings, and then things got a little strange because we would have gold represent paper money, but then it was just a symbol. And that's one of the things that humans excel at. We're really good at symbols, but in this case, the symbol still represented something. It represented the gold, which we valued because of its scarcity. And then we got rid of the gold, and then it was just money. So it's always a fascinating trip to hold a $100 bill and imagine going into the past and trying to, like, 5,000 years in the past and trying to, like, buy something with it. And of course it would be impossible because it's a social construct. We buy into it, and its entire existence depends on us buying into it, but at least it's paper. And now if you follow some of the interesting stuff that's happened with cryptocurrency, it shows how deep we've gotten ourselves into these abstract worlds and how we have cut ourselves off from the lifeline to reality itself. With cryptocurrency, there's not even paper money. And it completely, I mean, people are just inventing this stuff as they go along and hoping desperately that other people will buy into it. So when you see people, or maybe some of the news was talking about, where do we find this $1 billion in cryptocurrency that disappeared? It's missing. And that just shows our mistake as human beings that we fall prey to. It's not missing. It never existed in the first place. And this is the mistake that we make as humans. Same thing with trying to look for the self in the brain. You're not going to find any self in the brain because it wasn't there in the first place. It's just an agreed upon social construct that is useful at times. But when you see through it, you see that it never existed in the first place.